All right. It's your man Herschel Gaston again, live from the Capitol steps. It's Sunday. What's today's date? It's Sunday, whatever it is. Sunday, May 19th. We're here for the Women's March for the protection of women's reproductive rights. All right. Now everybody needs to get on board, like and share. Listen, we got this video going, so share this video. We're live. It's about 4 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. I'm gonna be here, and we're gonna broadcast this thing. We want everybody to chime in because they're eroding the rights of women. Right here is good. Trying to make abortion illegal, taking away the right for a woman to choose what she does. Oh my Jesus! Okay, so again,
here. Can you hear me?
Let's give you a shot of the crowd coming up. This is coming up Dexter Avenue.
Hear me now? No? Yes?
Everybody motivate.
So I just have to tell people to get
this
mouth closed.
The same way.
We're all friends. Yeah, we were all friends.
Text this number. Join the fight. Text this number, 444-999. Text that to help repeal the, okay.
Look at this beautiful crowd.
Yeah, I'm gonna move out.
If you need me, just holler. Just be me.
Yeah. Look at the size of the crowd. You should be here with us. Look at the size of the crowd. Let your voices be heard. We need the brothers to stand up too.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Live from the steps of the Capitol up in Montgomery.
Blame the system, not the victim. Here we are. We've arrived on the Capitol steps today for a historic march. For reproductive rights in the state of Alabama. Your voice matters. Welcome. Yes. Woo! What a day. How does it feel? Is that all? Just 4 days ago, we had a bill passed that was the most horrific anti-abortion bill in this country.
Today,
women from all over Alabama, men and children, are all standing up to say, this is our march for reproductive rights! Reproductive rights! Reproductive rights! Reproductive rights! Reproductive rights! And we would have thought in just 4 days that we could all be standing here together. I'd like to recognize Britt. Can you come over, Britt? And all the organizers, if you're near us, come by, because it would not have happened if it weren't for the heart of all of us who felt that this was so important.
I just want to thank everyone for being here, for turning out on a hot day. We're going to fight this, we're going to vote them out, and we're going to take our state back.
Speaking of voting these people out, we here, Audrey, Britt, and I represent Emerge Alabama, and we are a candidate training program. Thank you. We train Democratic women to run and get elected.
To protest this bullcrap bill that they
2020
just
is
passed.
right around the corner, so
Making
make sure
abortions
you give
legal.
Emerge Alabama money.
You gotta
give women
get it out. You gotta
money.
support this.
All of it.
You gotta repeal this. All right, look at the crowd. Let's go. All right.
Hey, y'all move in to the front, move to the side so everybody can hear.
Live from Montgomery, Sunday afternoon. Look at the crowd. You should be here supporting this effort. Let your legislators know that they cannot do this. All right? Let your voices be heard. If you believe this is wrong, you gotta write your legislature and let them know. These lawmakers can't let it go. Can't let it go.
All right, everybody, we've got some really dynamic speakers that just want to take a minute of your time, talk about different angles of this topic, and we're going to start with Stacey Fox, the president of Planned Parenthood Southeast. Please give her a round of applause.
Do this. Yeah. Thank you, Brent. Look at you beautiful humans out here today. My name is Stacey Fox. I'm the president and CEO at Planned Parenthood Southeast Advocates, and we cover Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi, 3 states that have passed these dangerous, draconian abortion bans this spring. And let's be clear about what these abortion bans really are. In a state like Mississippi, where in Jackson, Mississippi, HIV rates are shooting through the roof as if it were the early 90s, or Georgia, that has the highest maternal mortality rate in the country, or Alabama, where black women are dying from cervical cancer at rates 6 times higher than any other state in the country. Shame on these politicians. In Georgia, the business community came out, the medical community came out, the voters came out, and those politicians simply didn't listen. And we are coming for their seats. In Alabama, and I see their faces down there, 25 white men stared 3 brave rape survivors in the face Tuesday night and voted down an exception to this bill for rape and incest, and we are coming for their seats. And we wonder why Governor Ivey signed this bill on Wednesday. Oh, that's because she was overseeing the 7th execution here in the state of Alabama under her term. Shame on you, Governor Ivey.
That's right. That's right.
I have one message for Governor Ivey and Governor Kim.
Shame on you! 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 Shame on
There we go. There we go. Yes. That's the message. I have one message for Governor Ivey and Governor Kemp. We will see you in court. Along with our partners, our fierce partners at the Alabama ACLU, we have not lost a court case yet, and we don't plan to start now.
Montgomery, if you're in the area, come on by the Capitol and get out here.
Let's be clear what these bans are about, y'all. This is an all-out warfare on class.
All right.
People of means always will have access to abortion in this country. We're talking about a war on poor women, a war on women of color, and that is not okay. Because we know that banning abortion does not stop abortion. It stops safe abortion. So we have one job while we go to court. Our job is to make sure that the people of Alabama, of Georgia, of Mississippi, that they know that abortion is still safe, legal, and available in these states. And if you want to know what you can do, you spend every day between now and next November registering every voter you ever see, because we are going to reclaim these legislators, these states, and take back our people's house. Thank you.
Again, we're live at the Capitol steps. March for women's reproductive rights.
If anyone
Everybody has to
is
stand
not
up. You
registered
gotta
to
stand
vote
up.
And you want to have this
Register to vote.
opportunity as we
Let's get everybody
increase
out here
women's
and do what we
power
gotta do.
on the ballot.
Again,
in our
like, follow, and
legislature
share.
all
You know where I'm at.
elected positions
I'm on YouTube
in
as well as
Alabama. There
Facebook.
is a table over
Like,
here,
follow, and share.
And you
Real
can
Talk with
register
Herschel.
today. So if you're not registered,
We gotta stand up. We gotta take
please
our
do
community
so.
back. Make sure that our women are protected. So
Our
brothers,
next
make sure
speaker
that
is
you're
Amanda
registering to
Reyes.
vote.
Amanda
Getting these
Reyes,
kids registered to vote.
Yellowhammer Fund.
And make this thing happen. All right, get involved.
Hello,
Get involved.
everyone. I am so excited to see you all out here today to stand up for abortion rights in Alabama. So I know that, this is one of the most extreme, this is the most extreme ban to be passed in the entire country. All around the country and in the Southeast, they've been passing 6-week bans and different procedure bans. Alabama has had heartbeat bans try to come through the legislature for years and years and years. And this year, they said that this was the year that they were going to be as extreme as possible and try for an outright ban. And they did it. And they did it because we have been too complacent. We have not talked about abortion enough to our legislators, and we haven't talked about it enough to each other. We have allowed anti-abortion people in this country to dictate the discourse and language we use around abortion since Roe versus Wade, and that needs to stop. Because since Roe versus Wade, anti-abortion forces in this country have gradually chipped away at our rights until we are here today in 2019 staring at an outright abortion ban in Alabama. That's right. And for so many people, abortion is not even accessible or available to them in Alabama. We talk to hundreds of people every year who are desperate for abortion care, who ask us what they can take in their house under their sink to induce abortion care. They ask, if we know anyone who can do, this for them on the down low because they don't have the money that they can, go to see a doctor, for. And these people are so desperate, right, that they threaten to do things, like jump off the Edmund Pettus Bridge, for example. There was one woman that we helped last year who said, if I cannot get this care, I have 3 children. If I cannot get this care, I am going to jump off of the Edmund Pettus Bridge. And that is, for us in Alabama, that is just disgusting and horrible. That we have let our reproductive freedoms and our human rights degrade so much that there are desperate pregnant people in our state who are thinking of leaving their children and their families behind because they cannot be pregnant anymore. They cannot be pregnant again. They cannot bring any more children in the world because they are struggling like hell to raise the children they already have in this state. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that this ban doesn't go through, right? We need to make sure that our awesome partners at the ACLU and Planned Parenthood and everyone is going to sue. We need to make sure that we support them, right? We need to fight this on the legal level. We need to fight this on the electoral level, right? And then what we also need to do is we need to fight this on a practical level. That's right. There are people who are suffering today who can't get their abortion care today or tomorrow. We don't need to wait for these bans to go through for us to do something about abortion access in Alabama in the South. And if you want to make sure that anyone in Alabama, anyone in the South, and anyone in the United States can get the abortion care that they need, you need to make sure that it stays legal and it stays accessible. And to make sure it stays accessible, you need to donate to places like the Yellowhammer Fund and other local abortion funds, because if and when Roe is overturned, These networks are going to activate, and we're going to funnel the resources that we have to making sure that everyone in the United States can get access to care, regardless of whether it is legal or not. We will get safe care.
All right, again, we're watching Real Talk with Herschel, and we have to stay involved. We have to stay engaged. We're here at the Capitol steps on Sunday afternoon in Montgomery, and we are
As a social worker, one of the most important
out here at
values
this
that
rally.
I follow and practice
There are
every day
hundreds
is pride
of men and women out here.
This principle demands that I respect
Not
the
going to
client's
give in to this
decision,
bullcrap
which is in essence
for these
their right to choose.
for these
Even as a
white folks to
parent,
sit
I
up here
realize
and
that
tell
my daughter's
women
right to make choices
how
is
to
just
govern
that,
their
a
bodies.
right.
We got to fight
I'm
for
scared to live in
our
a
women's
world
rights,
where we as women are
and we got to
told
stand
that
up
we can do
now.
anything we want to
So,
do except control
We got to
what's going
activate.
on
We
with our
got to
own
get ready to
bodies.
vote. Got to get ready to vote. Got to get ready to vote. Got to get ready
There
to vote.
are no exceptions. As a professional, as a woman, as a parent to a 4-year-old daughter, self-determination is a right that is ours. Abortion rights are human rights, and we're not going to stand silently as those rights are being threatened. Thank you.
Like and share this video. I'll see
Our
y'all
next
watching.
speaker is
Share this
Claire
video.
Lewis Evans,
Share it with
telling
everyone
her
that you can.
personal abortion story. And I want to tell you, it takes a lot of courage to do this.
Okay, I've never actually talked about this before, so I wrote some words down. Bear with me. It's practically an accident that I'm here today. Obviously, the legislature and Governor Ivany have forced this issue, but I happened to mention my abortion when I was talking with a friend from Hometown Action the other night and found out that the organizers of this event were looking for someone to get up here and tell their abortion story. In fact, my abortion story is not very interesting. And it certainly isn't as interesting to me as the fact that it's so hard to find somebody willing to talk about their abortions when approximately 1 in 4 women have had one over the course of their lifetime. Hence the difficulty of finding someone to stand here on this hill in the nexus of Alabama's intentionally undemocratic and abusive power structure to discuss a simple medical procedure. Because that's all it was for me. 30 years ago, I went to a clinic, I had an abortion, and then I went home and I read a book. I watched some TV before going back to school and work a few days later. If I recall correctly, I think that Star Trek: The Next Generation was on. I have no shame, I have no regrets, and it definitely upped my game in terms of my own self-advocacy, because I hadn't really had any training or experience before that about just learning how to exercise my power as an adult and a sexual being in the world. Like a lot of their friends, my parents were totally naive about the world that my cohort was facing, what with sex, drugs, rock and roll, and all that good stuff. So they were, so I was, at the time, going to a commuter college and had barely just turned 21 and was so awkward, such a little oddball really, that I didn't know how to negotiate social exchanges, especially since all my friends had really just upped and moved away. This was back before there was girl power, or back before, even though AIDS was raging, people really talked about condoms, using condoms or birth control in any kind of general sense. I tried the pill a few times, but it did not work with my body. So there I was trying to connect with people and make new friends. And of course, the possibility of some romance made sense.
We can't let this go by unchecked, people. We can't.
So I had been.
You got to make sure that we stay active. You got to register to vote.
And they weren't with me.
You got to. You got to register to vote. You got to make sure that your legislature knows what's going on. Who's that? Miss Holloway. How you doing, Miss Holloway? Listen, share this video. We're on the stairs in the Capitol in Montgomery, Alabama.
I'm sorry to
protest this law that just was signed by our governor banning all abortions. You know, it's not for the government to decide what we do with our bodies. We can't have the government decide that. It's between a woman and her God, a woman and her doctor. It's not for the government to decide what can and can't be done with a woman's body. So let's band together,
Yes,
whether
it's
you,
true
regardless
that I did
of
not tell the guy
if
I
you
was-
believe in
that I
abortion
was
or
not
not.
on the pill, but
It's your
neither did
personal
he
choice,
ask
just like
me
it's somebody
about,
else's
using a
personal
condom or
choice.
protection.
We cannot
And I was so
legislate or
operating
let them
experience
legislate
and
what we
lonely
can and can't do with
that
our
I
bodies.
really just wasn't
So
being
please
equal
get out
partner in the exchange.
and
I also
be
actually
active.
didn't enjoy myself.
Be active,
And that was surprising.
with your
Surprisingly,
political,
not surprisingly, we didn't see each other much after
support. You know,
so,
get out
fast forward about a month, and I'm not
get out
able
here
to hold my beer the way that I'm used to being able to hold
and
my
stand up
beer.
for what you believe in. I'm
And
sorry, I'm
went
being
to the
distracted. There's a lot of things
doctor
going on here.
Got the bad
But
news.
I want people
And I went
to
and
understand
talked to
that
my
you have to be
parents,
involved.
And
You
we
have
agreed
to
that an abortion was
be
probably the right
involved.
thing for me at that
All
point
right?
in my life.
Now
Their
again, you're watching
insurance
Real
helped
Talk
pay
Rehearsal
for
from
it.
Dothan, Alabama. Right now we're in Montgomery.
My friend
Hey,
took me to the clinic.
we're in Dothan,
I had an
Alabama.
abortion, and then I went
We're
and
live
watched
from
Star
Montgomery
Trek.
at the Capitol steps. We're here at the Capitol.
So I'm
Just look at the
51
crowd.
now,
Look
and
at the
I'm
crowd.
grateful that I don't
It's
have
crazy.
kids trying to live in this
Look at the
society.
crowd. We gotta motivate. We
I
gotta
can't
say
really
we gotta
speak to the
motivate
experiences
behind
of
the
young
things
people
that are
today,
important to us.
especially if they're trying
All right?
to exercise control over
Please,
their own
please,
bodies
please.
and their lives. But we know that Alabama
Be
and other
engaged.
states have anti-abortion
Get out and
laws
vote.
that are
Register people to vote.
disproportionately going to affect people of color
Protest.
and people of low means.
When they pass these
are
type of
people who
laws,
have
you gotta get out
historically
here
and continue
and
to be
protest and let them know that it's not all
both by
right
the outright white
to dictate
supremacy
how
and by
people
white moderates who don't want to
take
face
care of
the
their bodies.
uncomfortable truths,
All right, we're all citizens.
like the reality of
We have the
sex
right
and
to do
abortion in particular, and the fact
with our
that people
bodies
who don't
and
look or
reconcile
worship
them with
just
our
like them
Maker,
are fully
not with
entitled
man.
to the same rights, privileges, and access to resources, including health care and education, that many of us take for granted. I do see a lot of white middle class people out there. Even here in Alabama, where the public good has been shredded by tax dodges, so-called faith-based enterprises, and the school-to-prison pipeline. I wish there was a clear pathway back to the top of Dr. King's mountaintop, because we are living in scary times, and it's hard to see the road to the promised land. The thing we have is each other. And the chance of grace that comes for working for a more just, equitable Alabama for everyone, even with our own faults and foibles. Finding the way to sustain that is hard to do, but I'm grateful to everyone who's making the effort. Thanks so much for having me up to tell you my abortion story. And I encourage everyone else to start learning how to tell yours.
We are now going to hear from Lucia Ermo of ACLU of Alabama.
Okay. Hi, everyone. How are y'all doing there? I've spoken on the Capitol steps a couple times before for various protests and marches that we have here, and I just want to say I'm so emotional looking out at all of the people that we have here. I want you to look like around to yourselves and give yourselves a hand. To have this many people in Alabama come up and unapologetically stand up for abortion is something that is truly inspiring to see, and we wouldn't be able to do the work that we do without all of you supporting us. So a huge thank you to everyone who's coming out today. So my name is Lucia Ermo. I'm the Public Advocacy Director for the ACLU of Alabama. We are a civil rights organization. We do constitutional rights here in the state, and we will sue on this anti-abortion ban. We're certainly no strangers to suing the State House. We've done it plenty of times, and we've won plenty of times, and we're confident that this unconstitutional bill is going to be struck down. We're going to do everything we can to stand and to fight for people's rights to access safe, healthy, and free abortions. And we're going to be fighting not only in the courts, we're going to be working with the fabulous people who have been fighting this anti-abortion rhetoric for years. We're going to be working with the clinics the independent clinics who are still providing abortions, I want to make perfectly clear that abortions are still legal in Alabama and they will be for the foreseeable future. So if you have anyone, if anyone is scared about that, tell them to contact our office, but we're going to be challenging the law and we're going to be asking for that to be blocked by the courts. Previous years and previous attempts to restrict abortion have come out in our favor. A couple of years ago, the state of Alabama had to write us and Planned Parenthood a $1.7 million check. And although we like having that money, we would much rather get it from donations than by having the state further bankrupt itself for unconstitutional and stupid laws. Another thing I want to say is I think that there's been a lot of talk nationally and a lot of eyes on Alabama right now, and you'll hear, oh, just leave Alabama, oh, that's just how they are, that's what's happening in Alabama. But I want to point out that we have a long history of collective organizing, and we have a long history of fighting for our rights. And the rest of the country had better see it, because if they don't see it, this is going to come straight to their states, and it's going to be just as bad. And they're not going to have us to fight for anymore. So I want to put forth a vision of Alabama, one that has had centuries of resistance to oppression, one that has had people standing up, getting beaten, getting killed for their right to vote, for their right to be a person and be recognized as a person in the state, and one that has had people around here. Take a look at your local community organizations who work with so little. They work with so little, and they just find the resources and find the creativity to be able to say, well, government's not taking care of us, so we're going to take care of each other. Because that's Alabama. That's what we do. We take care of each other. So I want to thank you all so much for coming out. Please don't let this be your only march. We're going to need you in the legislature. We're going to need you at the ballot box. We're going to need you to be talking to your friends and to not let this go. So don't let this go. Thank you so much. And I'm so proud to be standing with all of you.
Indeed, indeed. Our next speaker, before we bring him up, let us just say, everybody take out your cell phones, and we want you to text this number. See the information on the card here.
Right.
We want to make sure we document that this happened, and it happened at the numbers that it happened, and we have a base that we can continue to grow as we continue to work for reproductive rights here in Alabama.
Listen, we got to fight to repeal this law. You know, regardless of where you fall down on abortion, it's still a principle. Still a principle. You can't legislate how someone takes care of their body. You know, you can't sign into law that abortions are illegal and then turn around and sign somebody's death warrant. Kay Ivey signed the bill banning abortion, and then the very next day she signs a death warrant for someone to be killed. Death is death, and life is life. So either all life is precious or it's not. So we have to stop the hypocrisy, and we got to stand up. We got to stand up. All right, we're live from Montgomery, Alabama on the Capitol steps. On the Capitol steps. You know, we are here with this big crowd. Look at this crowd, it's unbelievable. This is a Sunday afternoon. Sunday afternoon.
This is about us. It's about us taking back our human rights. So let's hear from Andy Lawhead with Unite for Reproductive and Gender Equity.
First off, thank y'all so much for coming out today. URGE is a reproductive justice organization that works to center the voices of young people in the South and Midwest. And we know that young people are key to taking back power and making sure that we have power over our own bodies and our own relationships. And that we have the power, knowledge, and tools to exercise that. I'm standing in front of y'all today to tell you this, that we are not going to give up. We will not let our legislators continue to dictate our lives. And we know that queer youth already have a hard time accessing respectful, affordable health care. And we know that abortion is everybody's issue. Not only women have abortions. Myself and other trans and non-binary people, we need reproductive health care. And that includes abortion care. So y'all, can you tell me, when did we ask for this abortion ban? We did. We've contacted our legislators, we've rallied, we're going to continue to show up and speak out. We flew a daggum banner over this building telling Governor Ivey that abortion is okay. We don't want this. Our elected officials didn't listen to us. No, they didn't. They continue to pass legislation based on their own personal beliefs and not the will of the people. Countless polls show that less than a quarter of folks support an abortion ban. We know that this is bigger than Alabama. All across the country, we've been seeing efforts to chip away at and ultimately end abortion access. And that's not okay. These nationally coordinated anti-abortion efforts are a real crisis taking away our rights. And these laws are meant to control our bodies, our families, and our communities. What I know is this: young people aren't going to stop fighting for abortion access. Urge isn't going to stop fighting for abortion access.
Again, they passed a law to ban abortion.
They're not going to stop fighting for abortion.
So they care about life so much. Why do you block Medicaid for all? Why do you block CHIP? Why do you block health care coverage for people that are here? Why do you block reform in the prisons for prisoners to have fair treatment and humane treatment in the prisons if all life is precious? Why do you still have the death penalty if you believe that all life is precious? Or is it only until you get here? We got to decide what we want to do, people. I mean, this is our country. The country is supposed to be of, for, and by the people. You know, they build prisons based upon third grade reading scores. So they can project how many prisons they're going to need to incarcerate people by the time by telling how they go through the third grade, pass certain tests. Now, you want to fight for a child to get here, and then when the child gets here, nobody wants to fight for it. Nobody wants to make sure that the child can eat. Nobody wants to make sure that the child has proper health care. That's hypocrisy. Either all life is precious or it's not. Either it is or it isn't. We have to look at this. It's okay to kill people. It's okay to shoot black people in the street. That's okay. It's okay to starve people to death. It's okay. It's okay. But you want to ban abortion because it's murder. All murder is murder. So they have to make up their minds. So let's get back to this rally and let your legislator hear what's going on. All right?
And be a part of this change going up to the 2020 elections. We are saying that enough is enough. From a woman that's had 2 abortions successfully through the Planned Parenthood, when Miss Governor Kay Ivey has stopped the support going to Planned Parenthood, who provides not only cervical treatment, treatment for hormonal treatment, counseling. We say shame on you, Kay Ivey. Shame on you. We are talking about the same person that's living in the governor's mansion that was built on the plantation of Alabama as slavery on the backs of Alabamians. We are talking about the same person who supported Roy Moore in spite of her beliefs. In spite of her belief of his accusers. We talking about the same person that wants to take over the Department of
Department of Justice and organize that they be appointed in the parole board and the Department of Education. That there's still a zero tolerance policy in the state of Alabama that is leading to the school and prison pipeline. We say shame on you, Governor Kay Ivey. Alabama is the 5th top-ranked state in mass incarceration. There are more than over 143 women that are being violated in the Department of Justice that are getting raped every day. And you say that's no exception. Shame on you, Governor Kay Ivey. What do we want? Justice. What do we want? When do we want it? Now we will work diligently to 2020 that everybody becomes a registered voter. We will protest around the governor's mansion if we have to. We say enough is enough, and this ends today. No more slavery. No more slavery. No more slavery. No more slavery. It's all right.
That's what you call a mic drop. That's what you call a mic drop.
All right, I know it's hot, and I know we've been out here a little while. We've got a couple more speakers.
We got to be active.
We've got one more that just jumped in the lineup that wants to share her abortion story, too. So please welcome Meg.
It's not just abortion. Today it's abortion. Tomorrow it's something else. We got to fight for rights of all life. Of all life. You know, if it's either it's all precious or it's not. Doesn't matter what you believe. But government does not have the right to dictate how someone lives their life or what they do with their own life. You know, again, they're banning abortion and they're blocking Medicare for all. They're blocking CHIP. They're blocking fresh food coming into a lot of communities that don't have access to it. So how much do you really care about life once it gets here? You know, again, prisons are built based on third grade standardized test scores. So you're going to incarcerate them when they get here, especially us. Hey, Sharice. People will, they will abuse people once they get here. But it's okay it's okay to bring them here to be tortured, starved to death, and abused. Well, again, if all life is precious, then they have to vote for Medicare for all. They have to vote to keep CHIP going. You know, our children are our best resource. We need prenatal care for women. If women could afford prenatal care, maybe they wouldn't have these abortions. You know, you won't provide prenatal care for women, but you wanna ban these things. It's just like with anything else. You get mad at the criminals for stealing. There are no jobs. When things are legal and safe, I think that what happens is when they're legal, safe, and affordable, I should say, there won't be as many problems. So we have to not make abortions an illegal thing, because what's going to happen, more women are going to die trying to have them. More women are going to seek means that are not safe. You know, we see the same thing with body augmentation. You know, people are seeking that can't afford it are going to these underground clinics. So again, when things are illegal, people seek illegal means and things that are unsafe. So we have to keep the pressure on our legislatures not to make these things illegal. Because what happens is, again, if we let them outlaw this, you're going to see more women die. You're going to see more children just put in risk. So again, register to vote, contact your legislators, stay involved. Don't let this go by unchecked. I'm telling you, if they can pass it here in Alabama, they can pass it anywhere. So don't be the next state that allows this to go by. To all of you people in Alabama, write your legislatures, write to the governor, and tell them we're not going for this. Again, when you outlaw things like this, and then you won't take care of the children who get here, these same people that outlaw these abortions, they don't adopt babies. They don't. They don't. So they just want them to get here, and then they won't do anything to help take care of them. So let's make health care affordable. Prenatal care, let's make that available. A lot of women don't choose to terminate their abortion because they can't afford health care, because they can't afford to take care of the child. And then you make them wrong, and there's no mechanisms in place to help them take care of these children. You know, like I said, we can't let this go unchecked. We have to fight for this. We have to fight for Medicare for all. We have to fight for CHIP. We have to fight for the rights of the people that are here. We have to fight for women's rights to have prenatal care. Because how can you expect to bring a child into this world and you can't even get care for yourself? This would curb the tide of a lot of these women seeking abortion, because they make conscious decisions not to have these children because they can't take care of them, because they can barely take care of themselves. We have to do better. We cannot just let the government dictate what we do with our bodies, and they won't do anything to help us. The government is supposed to provide health care for all of its citizens, or should. Supposed to, I don't know. But it should provide health care for all of its citizens, especially those that can't take care of themselves. And if you really care about these children, these unborn children, then you should make sure that when they get here, they can eat, they can get health care, and that they can live safely.
To get there, we must recognize
all right, Sean, thanks for watching. Please share this video. We're live from the capital of Montgomery at a rally to help repeal this law that KIV just signed last week to ban abortion.
A current anti-student protest
They're chipping away at our rights. What's next? What you can and can't eat? Back to the back of the bus? Black and white fountains?
And a proposal to
black and white doctors? We gotta nip this crap in the bud, people. We gotta nip it in the bud. We gotta nip it in the bud. Don't sit by and think that this is it doesn't affect you, because it does. If you have children, if you have grandchildren, you know this bill is so draconian that a rapist can rape a woman, get her pregnant, and he has paternal rights. What kind of craziness is that? They won't allow her to abort the child that's a product of rape or incest. She has to carry this child, and the government will not provide any health care, any prenatal care. So what are we doing here? We got to do better, people. We got to be involved. You got to call your legislature. You got to write letters. You got to protest. You got to agitate, because it can start here. And if you're not in Alabama, you might be next. You might be next. There's an 11-year-old girl that was raped in Ohio, and they have the same type of ban. Now, this girl was raped and she became pregnant, and they're making her have this baby. What does an 11-year-old know about having a child? What does an 11-year-old child know about having a child? She might die during childbirth. But these are the type of things that are going to go on with the banning of these abortions. Now, what I feel about abortion personally doesn't matter. I have to reconcile what I do with my God, and so does everybody else. But that's their right, and that's their responsibility. We have to make things affordable and available, whether you agree with it or not. It's no different than drinking or gambling or anything else. If you don't drink, don't drink. But if somebody else wants to, that's their business. They have to reconcile that with their God. If they want to gamble and you don't gamble, that's fine. Let them gamble. You don't have to. But the government should not be allowed to legislate whether or not you can gamble, drink, or what you do with your body, especially when they won't provide even affordable health care for you. We got to do better. We got to do better. We got to do better.
All right. Maintain eye contact and repeat after me. Everybody ready? I see you.
I see you.
You see me.
You see me.
I am powerful.
I am powerful.
You are powerful.
You are powerful.
We are more powerful together.
We are more powerful together.
Together, we will take action. Together, we will heal.
Together, we will heal.
And together we will win. Thank y'all so much, and remember, we are going to have to carry this movement forward, so please keep in touch with us. The best way to do that is to text REPRO to 444-999. Thank you.
Okay, guys, so that was great. I'm crying. Thank you, Casey, for that. Now I have to do some housekeeping because, as the nature of these things are, make sure we provided a lot of water.
Make sure
if you're
that
thirsty,
we
please, there are
stay involved.
plenty of water.
I mean, these issues
down
affect us all. It's not just a women's issue. It's a family issue. You know, our kids need health care just like anybody else. You know, every single mother isn't single by choice. Men are being incarcerated, our men are being killed. So meanwhile, back at the ranch, she has to suffer and not be able to provide health care for her children. That's insane. We got to do better. We got to do better. We got to fight this, because if they continue to pass laws like this, we'll never be able to survive. The government, you know, passed the Affordable Care Act. It's supposed to help children. It's supposed to help women and people that can't afford health care. And again, what's next? What's next? You know, people are dying because they can't afford to go to the doctor. That's insane. That's a sin before God. If the technology exists, if the medication exists, why shouldn't you be able to live a healthy life? You die because you don't have enough money to buy insurance. So again, people, we got to do better. We got to do better. We got to do better. Keep the pressure on. Register to vote. Register to vote. Stay there. Stay there. Stay there. This is some of the protesters here.
Our body, our choice.
That's right. That's right. Keep up the pressure. Keep up the pressure. Register to vote. All right, register to vote. Regardless of where you fall down, you gotta do the things that are right. You gotta do what's right. Whether you agree with abortion or not is irrelevant. When things become illegal, they become dangerous. So we have to make sure that health care is provided, not just abortion. We have to make sure that affordable health care is available. So please, people, please. We come to the end of the rally. Like I said, we want to make sure that everybody lets their voice be heard, you know? Got to make sure that everybody's voice is heard. All right, like and share this video. You know where to find me. We're going to have this up on YouTube this afternoon as well. All right? All right. I believe it's the end of the rally. So again, we're gonna pick this up later. We're gonna have a discussion on this. You know, let me hear your feedback. Please contact me at realtalkwithherschel@gmail.com. On Twitter, Real Talk HG. On Facebook, you all know where to find me. Real Talk, Real Power. So let's get out here. Let's support our women and let's support our kids. Peace.